All right. Well, just a quick introduction. Dave Barton. Have been with America Pacific since 2017. Um, I ran and continue to really run. I have delegated it to the actual new branch manager here in my area, but I still kind of do everything with him right now as he's learning. So still running a branch here in Utah. Been in the industry since 2000. Was in property management before that. So doing this a little while. They asked me about a year ago if I would kind of help all the new branches coming on, learn some of the tools and the software, and kind of shorten the learning curve if we can. So today, if it's all right, I'm going to actually start with Loan Vision since it freaked out when I didn't keep it open the whole time because it will time out on you. So since everyone's a branch manager, we'll just start there if that's okay, and then we'll go into DOMO. Um, I know some of you are still waiting to get logins and a couple of things, so I'll do kind of a 30,000 foot view of Loan Vision using one of our branches here in the Midwest mountain region. And then from there, we can, once you get in, start to get some, production coming in, the numbers flowing into the system. I'm happy to kind of go over that with you one-on-one to actually look at your numbers. So, but you can, top here is just kind of your navigation bar as to the date range. One thing to remember is whatever the date range you've put here at the top is what will pull up under the general ledger. I would encourage you to just do a month at a time when you're doing the general ledger. If not, it'll be like 150 pages to have to sort through, either in a Word doc or a PDF or an Excel spreadsheet. So Stacy, you were mentioning you didn't want to look at many more Excel spreadsheets for a while. So yeah, just shorten that time frame to 1 or 2 months kind of total. Loan fundings, pop that open for you here. Just gives you a list of all of the loans funded. One of the things I learned as we were trying to fix something that Kelly and I found yesterday is this does actually, you can't export it all the way out. It does show broker income, origination, processing, admin. It really does kind of give you a profitability report for that particular time period or for different loan officers based on cost of cures, credit reports, etc. So it's a little more robust than I was initially playing with. So encourage you to kind of use that a little bit while we fix some of the other things we found yesterday. So your main dashboard here, loans funded, amounts, averages, year to date, net income. The KPIs is a little bit more robust than that main front page. Just kind of breaks it down by loan officer, by investor, the area you're in, average days to fund, average days to sell, etc. A lot of that, Kelly probably has at her fingertips. So again, you're going to spend most of your time in this performance worksheet right here. And you can do it by month, but you'll end up more than likely spending 95% of your time in this 12-month trend because it just lines them up sequentially right next to each other. The P&L by loan officer, we're actually working on with Joseph Hedges, who's head of accounting. He's going to try to see if we can't start putting some more stuff in there so it's a little bit more robust. He got back to me this morning and said, yeah, we can work on that. It might take me a month, but I'll work on it. So that was huge. I thought I was going to have to go end around on him, but he was great. So he said, yeah, let's work on it. That'd be great. So
that's great, Dave. We have a couple other things we want to add too. So I'll add it to that email when I get caught up today.
Yeah. You were copied on a few of those that we were going back and forth around on DOMO and a couple of things. So
I'm just behind.
Oh no. Anyway, it'll go in again because I've done a whole year. This will take a minute, especially where I'm sharing over Teams. But any questions while we're kind of waiting for that to load? Again, I'm kind of going a little fast here. Let me see. Pull up the chat here. Kelly was just saying good morning. So good. So you have your FYTD fiscal year to date. Again, you show your kind of date range here. Your calendar year to date, fiscal year to date runs March 1st through the end of February. Calendar year, of course. Then you'd have December would be your, current month in this case. November, October, September, etc., which is kind of why I like this view better than just the month by month, because half the time I ended up going back into this view when I was comparing to last month or the quarter or whatever. Any line underneath one of the values, or you can, click on. So if you want to say, okay, total loan, you can click on it and it'll give you the list of that. And then you can see loan numbers, addresses, etc. about everyone that's going on in that particular category. So it breaks down total loans, conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, etc. Your total number of loans for each, the percentage of your total. When we come down under revenue, it'll switch over to the average amount as well as to BIPs. But in this top section, it's just giving you what are the values or the amounts of volume and units for that time period. Next section we get down into is the revenue, where, if we got any gains or loss on sales, your origination income based on in this particular case, this branch, they charge 1% origination. So you'll see the origination income coming in here if you do that. Conventional loan income, FHA, VA, etc. Your concessions for the month. Again, if you pull that up, and I would say, okay, great. Usually when I'm working with someone, I'm like, okay, great. Tell me about what happened on, the Davis loan. They're like, oh, I remember. Okay, yeah. And most of the time you would remember what happened on that one. If you don't, then you can, come back. The nice part is it gives you your general ledger account right there. They're not quite able to, if you can see how it says, you sort on the general ledger. We're trying to get them, one of the next phases is to be able to go right from there to the general ledger to get the detail. That's a project in the works. Joseph said that's going to take some time. So let's see. Adjustments, admins, cost of cures, processing income. This is a retail branch, so they have a branch objective that BIPs come right off the top to pay for the things that they have on a retail side. Then you get down into your fixed expenses. Anyway, sorry, jumped ahead. Revenue is in green. Then we get into fixed expenses. You've got salaries, wages, taxes, insurance, etc. All the salary benefits there. You've got bonuses, bonus on volume, marketing, office supplies, etc., rent, all the utilities, repairs, janitorial, your support services, internet access, pretty much anything you're paying for, it's coming into there. They had a Christmas party. You could see what they did, workers' comp, etc. It totals up your fixed expenses. Then you get into your variable. Commission's the big one. Deferred comp, appraisals, credit reports are always, ebbing and flowing based on when you ordered them and had to pay for them versus when you closed the loan. Credit reports, there is a way to do a pre-qual report right in Encompass, which is like $6 for one bureau versus a tri-merged at almost $40. So, if you got individuals, you're doing a lot of first-time home buyers, a lot of people that have some credit challenges, this particular, office in Idaho works with a lot of first-time home buyers where they're located in Pocatello. So they do a lot of credit things with people. And then it just goes down into depreciation, amortization, and
Hey,
comes
Dave,
on down.
real quick.
Yeah, please.
The point you were making there, were you saying that when they're pre-approving, like first-time buyers, they're just pulling a single credit bureau, just kind of like pre-approved versus
just
paying
to kind
the
of see where they're at. Yeah. So instead of saying let's pull a tri-mortgage at $40, you pull it in, they've got a 400 score. You can say, okay, no, let's pull a one bureau, just get a look-see, see where they're at. Okay, worst case, yeah, you pulled the $6 one, and then you still had to come back and make it a live credit report by pulling a full tri-merge. But we had a branch in San Antonio that was running about 30 to 40,000 a month in credit reports, because they were working with just a lot of credit challenged, ethnic, first-time home buyer, just a lot of people that needed some help, and had a fantastic pipeline, but they were running all these tri-merges instead of just saying, okay, great, let's spend the 6, 8, 12 months, whatever it took to get them ready to buy a home. And I mean, we helped their P&L just overnight by the fact that they started pulling those pre-qual reports first, working with people on their credit for whatever time it took, and then they went in and back and pulled the tri-merge. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's a big one, man. That's one we all got to be very wary of because we can save a lot of money on credit reports doing it that way. No, good
yeah,
point.
I mean, and you can pull a full tri-merged. If you go into Encompass, right under the credit report, it's when you hit the drop down, instead of it says like new report, if you hit the drop down, very bottom of that list shows pre-qual credit or pre-qual, something like that. It says pre-qual in there somewhere. Yeah, you can pull it on there, then pick all three, one. However, I mean, I like to start with one. If I need to, I can go back and pull the other two, but kind of up to what you guys want to do. So
Perfect. Thank you.
sure. And then from there, yeah, kind of just shows, where they're at for the year, where they're at fiscal year, coming and going, and just kind of where they're at. Obviously everyone's down a little bit. So kind of go from there. Questions on that? That was a really fast overview of Loan Vision, but hopefully it gives you enough. I like to give you some time and can go back over stuff with you guys, because it's much more fun to look at your particular numbers than someone else's on a demonstration. But it takes like 60 to 75 days to really start to see some numbers come in. Your expenses all start to be flowing through. I know, Kelly, you'll be working with Joseph on how to get the expenses out and letting everyone know, hey, go in and approve your draft financials. Typically, that's about the 10th or the 12th of the month. They'll enter everything in by hand. Right now, a lot on you guys' end is being entered by hand. So you do want to check it. Anytime it's entered by hand, there's an opportunity for someone to make a mistake, fat finger a number, transpose something, especially when they're doing a lot by hand right now. I just love to have people.
Seen it's some of the loans coming out of the integration team have been posted to the wrong accounts, like things like that. Like, we'll get all that cleaned up. It's just gonna take, through the end of January, and then I'll feel pretty confident we've gotten through everything.
Yeah, and then I know, Timothy, you're asking if you've got a username and password. I know Kelly's working on getting all those out and ready. So, and it takes about a month or two to start to get stuff to flow in. Where you got some loans are still coming out of integration. All those have to be moved by hand. So, again, we just for sure want to kind of give you an overview, and then be happy to jump back in with you one-on-one to go over that. So jumping over to DOMO now. So DOMO is an analytics program, basically pulling, for the most part, right out of Encompass. Both Loan Vision and DOMO update about every 15-20 minutes. So if you can't sleep at night and you're up at 3 a.m, and this, whoever's working in accounting is up at 2 a.m, and you'll see the numbers in there, because you do see them, shortly after they've entered them. But again, DOMO is a reporting mechanism. It's the first phase of it. I'll put that disclaimer out there. It's not perfect yet, but we're getting better. We were doing this with half the other team yesterday and found a bunch of mistakes we're going to work on now. So that's the thing we're wanting to do now is get in, use it, find out where it's broken, and let's fix it. So you can hover over the little here and it'll give you a little tutorial if you want. If you jump over to, hopefully you've all seen this on the branch manager, there's an actual just branch manager page on the hub. That was under tools and resources. And we've tried to put all in one space, all of your main applications, help desks, troubleshooting, origination, income calc, guidelines, etc. Training that you're all very familiar with. Want to know how to do a pricing concession or lender credit, there's a little video I did. But here's the tutorial on DOMO. That is the same thing you'll get if you hover over the here back on the DOMO page. If you hover over the title of each card, it'll tell you its purpose, its functionality, its criteria, what's that supposed to be doing. If you click on the middle of the card, it'll drill down to the next level. And in this case, we're going to look at the loan activity for files started in the last 7 days, credit pulls, disclosures, locks, submitted to ops, CDs, etc. What's the Candor participation? The next phase we're working on, we're going to start tracking all of the sales tools. So if someone's not using, I know Mortgage Coach and HomeBot need to go on here, but if they're not using it, then why are we paying for them? So let's start. Well, that's one of the things we're going to start tracking. Any of these cards then, someone was asking yesterday about alerts, but you can, click on the little tool symbol and you can say, hey, alert me. And it'll let you choose who you want to alert, or what file started, not started, all your filters here on the right-hand side. That part still needs to be a little bit more robust, but we'll get there. Or you could even, do that particular page if you wanted, but I don't know that you want to do an entire page, but you could. Coming back out, loans in process, same type of thing. It's going to show you, by program, by purpose, pipeline, by the various milestones, by lock, channel. The thing I like about this is you can sort up here at the top. You can also redo a change of the date. You can do from the default, you can do current, week, month, quarter, year. You can do previous quarters, months, years, etc. Or you can do that specifically for the card itself. But let's say you wanted to say, you know what, I want to see just everything that, Kasuki is doing. And great, there are 2 loans at the moment, and all the tiles above sort by just her. You can see it's sorted here at the top by just that individual. So again, just different ways to sort and play and filter. Then each one of these cards, again, workflow is just, again, kind of a pipeline report. Where are they at? My demo model in this version doesn't show, but on yours, it should show down here in the bottom right what the time frame is for why it's red, why it's green, or why it's this, I don't know, whatever that color is, orange, I guess. One of my daughter-in-laws would tell me that's some fancy thing, but anyway, I only have 5 primary colors: red, green, orange, etc. So anyway, again, you can do the same thing. Let's say we want to do just with, loan officer Eileen, and it'll sort everything just for Eileen. So a little different ways to do that. And you could find out, okay, what's going on? Why do we have this one that's, you hit that one CTC, then it'll go right to the Austin loan, or it's not Austin, whatever that one is, and find out what's going on with that particular loan. So, and let's see here. Locks, I'll kind of go a little faster through these last ones here. Again, just everything that has to do with the locks, what's going on, locks for the last 12 weeks, expiring in the next 30 days. And again, you can sort by particular LO or processor, however you guys want to do that. Yeah, I'm checking here again. Okay. Funded and projected. This one doesn't have quite the list yet built out on the bottom, but it's just showing, okay, here's what's funded so far this month. Here's what's projected, a high probability. It's what's going to show on the main tile. And then there's a medium chance and then a low chance for these other loans to also fund this month. Again, the piece they're going to work on next is being able to say, okay, tell me all about the medium loans and how do I want, what do I need to do to get those into, accelerated so I could maybe still fund them this month. Maybe I'm, my break even for the month is 10 million. And what does it take to get another, million or half or whatever to get profitable for the month? As the month progresses, as milestones change, that will update accordingly. And as we get towards the end of the month, obviously these get higher and more is going to flow over to next month. So.
Yeah, Dave, this is the page where we'd love to see a summary by branch too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear about that already, or did you ask for that?
No, but I know it's come from several other people going.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, where you guys are divisional, and I know Mike's group, I know has multiple branches and multiple people. Yeah, we will have to build that out a little differently.
Okay.
Based on cost centers, and it should show that when you have that. Maybe we'll go back and go onto a live version and look at Mike's, for example. It should show, your main branch and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, all underneath there. And as long as they're all checked, it should bring them all in, but I don't know if it'll
brings them all
sort
in
by.
only as loan officers, not as
Right.
branches.
Okay.
So I think it could be done. So
Yeah.
I'll send that developer a screenshot and later today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We wanna get that next step. So Funded, just pretty much, yeah, what's been funded today, month to date, year to date, average loan amount. It shows a year over year in this case. Obviously, 2021 was crazy, 2022, a little less, and then we're already on track so far for hopefully beating last year. Gives you a little leaderboard for LO processor. There's also an LOA one now. And then again, breaks down your funded loan characteristics, sources, referral names. If in Encompass, you'll use on the origination page that referral name at the bottom of that page, it will flow into DOMO, and you can begin to track who are your referral sources and what percentage of business are you getting from them, as well as what self-sourced, bank generated, or branch generated. If you have teams set up, bank team, broker team, all those classifications will also flow through there, and then it'll break it down by LO again. So let's see. And your profitability one, this one I know we've got to do a little work on. We found some errors yesterday. But it does bring out, kind of approximately what's your net revenue, where's that trending, concessions, cures, concessions by the last 6 months, how much is, branch generated. And I know we were asking yesterday about getting some more detail as to, what's going on with that, where you can click on that and say, okay, great, 11,000 cost of cures, but I need to know what the detail is. And there's some ways to do that, but it's, again, it won't do it on my demo version. So when you get into that point, let me know. We'll come into your version and we can look at it more specifically. And then this one down here is the one we found a bunch of errors on, but we'll fix it. So this is showing total fees, everything collected, and then this is minus what was going back for example, like a discount point or things like that. But it's not pulling out concessions to give you a true net revenue. So we're working on that one. We found that error yesterday. So other than that,
so
like
for now, the
go
branch margin base is what's going to tie to loan vision. Is
Mhm.
that okay?
Yeah, this amount right here is coming right out of Encompass, and it's the total costs, fees, appraisal, credit, everything that was collected by the branch. And then this net number is minus your discount point or, the underwriting fee that you're collecting. So again, but it's not subtracting out whatever concessions you had in here too. So we got to do a little work on that one. So that's why we're doing it. Like I said, it was more ready, fire, aim is how we did it this first time. Now we're going to go back and fix it. So, yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Real quick question for you on the funded loan. So I just went back to try to look at December, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it pulling it based upon branch number and a loan officer, or is it just pulling it on one or the other? The reason I asked that question is I know my funded loans in December were started by the transition team, but they associated them to our branch number, but they're not showing up in my report.
Can we log in and look at yours, Tim?
What's your branch number, Pim?
48202. I'm almost positive it's 202. If it's not 202, that was Timothy giving the answer and not Tim.
So let's see. Let's go.
There should just be two. There should just be two loans showing up there, but nothing shows up if I go backwards and look at December.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit to get the ones that were in integration to go get because those have to be hand entered.
Okay.
So, okay, so right now if we do yours, okay, so we've got the current, and then if we go, like I said, back previous month. Yeah, so it just has to be hand entered still.
But if you go look at the projected funding, I think by LO you would see them maybe, but not by branch. I thought there was a way to yeah,
again, you won't have to sort every time you do this, but
right.
So that's the current you know,
Right.
we've got Folly, you know, and then et cetera. So
Does that allow you to go back?
let's look.
Oh, cool.
Previous, oh, nope, not previous year. Let's do previous month.
I
Yeah.
think it's still tagging it to loan officer
Yeah.
as well as.
Yeah, because when it initially goes
Okay.
into integration, it tags it as branch number 0807. And a lot of those have to be manually tagged to come over into your branch and cost center. Yep.
Right. The only reason I was asking these is because when it was came down to paying out, you know, our payouts on them, since they were not started in our name, none of us, it never showed up and compensate for any of us, and it never got triggered by payroll when I had to go do it manually. And they got it all taken care of, but it all showed the transition loan officer's name on everything.
Right.
So,
Yep.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Nope. Good point. So, Mike, what's your main branch number?
4825.
4825.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it's lumping everything together. Okay, just wanted to just see if it was doing all the different versions yet. So, but it's looking like it's still lumping everything together then. So, okay, yep. So, questions? Like I said, that's kind of everything in a quick nutshell. Actually, stop the recording there so we